All right, so let's get cracking again. Just want to share my screen with you guys, and we will begin again. Okay. Okay, cool. So, right, so what I want us to do is exercise 3.2 together. And then after that, we'll see how far along we get. Because it can be quite time consuming. All right. So let me take you guys back to the screen of ours. Okay, so here we are. Right. Okay. So let's read the question and figure out what's actually going on over there. Okay. So in question 3.2, they say the following. Under the required, they say prepare the budgeted receipts for debtors. In accounting, you can also call this the Debtors Age Analysis. Okay. And then also prepare the scheduled budgeted payments to creditors for 1 May to 31 October. So the first thing that we want to do is we want to write that out, May all the way to October. Okay. So we're going to start with the budgeted receipts for debtors. Okay. The debtors age analysis. All right. Same thing. Okay. Then there up top it says the following are total sales and total purchases figures for Pulele Incorporated for the past 4 months. Okay, so these are the actual, all right? So here you got your actual total sales, 440 in January, all right? Actual for February, actual for March, actual for April. Same thing with the purchases. We have the actual for each of those. Just want to double check. Okay, perfect. Okay, cool. Then we go to the next table that they have for us there. They say the budgeted sales and purchases figures for May, June, July, August, and August are as follows. Okay, so these are budgeted, they're not the actual. Okay, this is what they anticipate or expect to happen. Okay, so we have the budgeted total sales and we have the budgeted total purchases. Awesome stuff. Then it tells us that 75% of all sales are on credit. Okay, so we need to take note of that. Okay, we need to take note of that so that we can obviously calculate how much sales actually took place, how much credit sales actually took place in each respective month. Okay, then we continue to read. It says cash is collected from debtors as follows. 40% of the outstanding amounts are collected during the second month following the month during which the sale took place. All right, after 60 days, you can see there in brackets, after 60 days. All right, so 40%. So I write that month 2, okay, 40%. Just makes my life easier. Then it goes on to say 35% are collected in the subsequent month. In other words, 90 days. After 90 days, okay? Then it tells us that 22% are collected in the subsequent month, all right, after 120 days. And 3% is irrecoverable, okay? In other words, it's a loss. We're not going to get that back. Credit losses, okay? Right. All right, awesome. Then point 3 under note says 40% of all purchases are on credit, okay? So the amounts that we get in the table there with regards to purchases, 40% of that is on credit. Purchases amounting to 240,000 are expected to be made in September. Okay, so they're just giving us that information there. Then it goes on to say creditors are settled as follows. 65% of outstanding amounts are paid back within 30 days, and an early settlement discount of 5% is allowed for these creditors. The balance of 35 is settled in the subsequent month, 60 days. Okay? Cool. All right, awesome stuff. So we now have read that information, we've read the additional, we now can jump into our question. But before we can jump into our question, we now need to work out how much credit sales we had in each month. Before we go anywhere, we need to work out how much credit sales we had in each month. Okay? So we then have to say, okay, how much credit sales did we have in January? We had 440. If you look over here, I've just written that down over here. 440. Okay. Then in February we had, so we can now insert that that amount that we have there, the 330. Right. Okay. Then we go to February, and in February the total sales we had was this 412. Okay. Times 75%. We then obviously get this 309,000. 309,000. Okay. Go to March. In March, how much did we? Okay, so we pretty much do the same thing. 113 0.75. Why isn't it calculating this? Let's try this. Oh, because I've spaced this out. Okay. We should make our lives easier. There we go. Okay, so I'm just going to quickly calculate all of them, and then we can proceed from there. 682 123 times 0.75. Okay, the next one, there's May for the budgeted 650. .75 and 720 760 times 0.75. Okay, then finally 800,000 times 0.75. Okay, there you go. So now we can quickly insert that. Here from the 309 we have 384. 750. April we have 471. The next one we have 487. Okay. The next one we have 540. And the next one 570. Okay, and then finally for August, what we have 600. Okay, done. All right, so happiness. Cool. So then the next thing we need to do is we then need to calculate when each amount is actually being paid. So then we say to ourselves, okay, we know that when it comes to January, the first amount that gets paid, let's do this. We have January, February. Can you do it that way? Okay, we're going to need to do this. Let's do it this side. January, February, March, April. Okay, I think I'm going to need to write it smaller. Okay, let's do this. January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. I'm just going to write all of it out. And here I'm going to do the same thing but downwards now. January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, and December. Okay. So remember what these guys said? That these amounts are paid 4 months later, 3 months later, and 2 months later. Okay. Okay, so 2 months later, you're talking about the first payment will be for January. First payment obviously will not be in January. All right, we start counting from the this month. So this will be month 1. This will then be month 2. Okay, this will then be month 3, and this will be month 4. Okay, for February, we don't count February. We then say this is month 1, month 2, month 3, month 4. Okay, for March, we don't count March. We say 1, April, 2, 3, and then 4. Okay, for April, don't count April. 1, 2, 3, and then 4. Okay. I hope these things are gonna be aligned nicely. Then for May, we don't count May. We say July, June, July, August, September. Okay. And we're doing this thing until, what did we say? June, July, August, September. So let me try and just, okay, so this one is June, July, August, September. So let me just try stretch that out there. Okay, and then October, September, October, November, and December. Okay, so then from here, we don't count June. We say July, August, September, October. Okay, and how far along did we go? We go all the way till August, okay? So here we say no July, we say August, September, October, and then November. And then here in August, we say no August, September is month 1, October is month 2, November is month 3, and December is month 4. And then finally for September, they did give us September for something. So here we're going to say no September. Then we say month 1 is October. Month 2 is November, and then month 3 is December, and then January the following year. Let me just put that in yellow. Okay, is 4 there. Okay, cool. So now that we have that, I think we're going to use that also for, what's this? We're going to use that also for, what's it called? For the creditors schedule. So we're interested in months. Let me use a different color here. We're interested in months May, okay, all the way until, they said, October. So all the way until here. These are the months that we're interested in, okay? So basically, we can even just draw a line all the way down here, okay, all the way down here, okay? So this will cut some time in terms of our calculation. So when it comes to January, we know that the fourth installment is going to fall into May. So we know the amount is 330,000. 1, 2, 3. And we know that for the fourth month, we're calculating 22%. You can see there where my cursor is. So we say times 0.22. What do we get? We get 72,000. Okay, I'm just going to copy and paste that. Okay, all right. So we have about 72,000 there. All right. January, can you see it doesn't affect any of the other months? So we can then leave it. Okay. Then we go to February. February, we already know how much credit sales we did. Okay, we know that May is affected by the third installment. All right, and then we know that June is affected by the fourth installment because that's the following subsequent month. So here we then say to ourselves is, okay, cool. We taking this 390, 309 thousand times 35. 0.35. Okay, so here we're going to have 150. Okay, then here what are we going to do? Here we're saying 0.22. So let's clear this. 309 times 0.22. Okay, we get 63, 980. 67 actually. Okay, so we're done with February, we're done with January. We then need to go to March. March, we know second month installment is coming in May, third month installment is coming in June, and fourth month installment is coming in what is this? July. Okay, cool. So okay, so 40% in May. Okay, so let's calculate that. 0.4 times 384, 750. Okay, what do we get? 153, 900. Okay. Then do another calculation. we are saying 384 750 times 0.35. Okay, so it's okay. It doesn't seem to want to. Oh, there we go. Try and get through this a bit faster. Okay. All right, and then finally, this one is 22%. Okay, so 384, 750 times 0.22. Okay, cool. And then we get 84,000. 84,645. Okay. Right, guys. So I could literally just go on and on and on and on, but I'm sure I would lull you to sleep. Okay. What's important is getting this correct. Okay. The mathematics of it is very simple, straightforward. So your process is, first things first, you want to get which months are we concerned with. We are concerned with, in the question they said from May, all right, from May all the way until October. Okay, so we write that down. Then we write down, okay, what are the months that are going to affect all those months? Okay, so the easiest way is you can also just quickly come here. We can actually start here, and I'll show you how you can actually work your way backwards. You can say we're concerned with May until October. All right, so May until October, what are the months where installments are going to affect this? Then you can work your way backwards. So 4, 2, 3, 2, 1. Okay. Then obviously that means January's installment. Okay. I think it's just easier to put all the months down and then just break it up. Okay. So that's the way I see it. Okay. But again, you can do it whichever way sounds easiest to you. And then I want to just show you what your answer at least should look like. So let me quickly try and open this thing up for you guys so you can see the rest of the answers. Okay, because I know if I do each and every one of those, we will probably only finish the debtors collection period, or the what's this, the debtors age analysis. I like calling it the age analysis. Okay. Okay, so please make sure that you're comfortable with question 3.3.2, because of this question, guys, at some point in time, they will probably ask you guys to do a age analysis, whether it's strictly for debtors or whether it's strictly for your, or both, depending on how much time you have. Okay, this is going to take some time. It just needs to load. But in the meantime, let's go back to this thing. Okay, so again, you start off by reading your question, understanding which months they want in question. Okay, after you've written that down, then you come and you say, okay, how much am I receiving in each of these respective months? Okay, how much are we receiving for each of these respective months? Once we have that, then we're good to go, because then it's just about filling in the blanks. Okay, if you need to get this right. If you get this wrong, then there's no way you're going to get your age analysis correct. Okay, and then obviously the totals. So this now informs us of how much we're receiving, how much we've sold, how much credit sales we've sold during the period, okay, from Jan to August. And then here we then know, okay, this is how much money we can expect to come in during the month of May. Okay, this is how much we can expect to come in during the month of June, etc, etc. And then this, can you see, budgeted receipts, it allows us to budget how much cash we will have, so we know, okay, how much money we will have that we can apply to certain expenses, or obviously allocate to certain projects or other business initiatives. Okay, right. So this scheduled budgeted receipts plays into your overall budget. Okay, and likewise, the thing that we're about to go on to, your budgeted payments. It shows you how much we need to pay each of these months to our creditors. So it then shows you whether you'll be able to meet that, okay, when you're doing your overall budget, okay, in addition to your other expenditures. Okay, so let's see now. I think this document should be loaded. Just want to show you this quickly, and then we'll proceed with the payments period. Are there any questions or thoughts? This thing doesn't want to behave. Okay, we're almost there. It's just going down to 47. Okay, whilst it does that, I think we can begin to. It's not what we wanted. Okay. Okay, so here we are. Is this it? Okay, here's our 3.2. Okay, so there you can see we were on the right track. Okay, and that's what your ultimate budgeted receipts is supposed to look like. Let me just zoom in a little bit. Okay, all right, that's what it should look like. Okay, but then let's go on to the budgeted payments. All right, so all right, same principle here. We then go and we see, okay, it says 40% of all 40% of all purchases are on credit. Okay, so to work out this bit, literally all we're saying there is we're saying 40% of 330,000, 40% of 240,000. Okay, so I'm just going to quickly do the first one. Okay, but I'm sure you guys now get the point. Okay, this thing looks, when we do it together, a lot easier than it may seem. Okay, but it does require some structure and some organization, just in terms of your approach. Okay, then here we're saying 0.40 again times your 240. Okay, this is going to be 96,000. Okay. Okay, we've got those. Okay. Then what did they say here? Here they say purchases amounting to 200 are expected to be made in September. Okay, that's fine. But then what do they tell us? 65% of outstanding amounts are paid back within 30 days. Okay, not after, but within 30 days. Okay. And then they tell us that and an early settlement discount of 5% is allowed by these creditors. Okay, the balance of 35% is settled in subsequent months, in the subsequent month. Okay, so if it's within 30 days, then that should tell you already that 65% is paid in 1 month, right? And you've got a 5% discount there. So in other words, 60% is payable. Okay, let me do this. Therefore, 60% is payable in a month's time. Okay, and in 35% is payable in 60 days. Okay, so then with this one, again, we need to do that whole schedule. Okay, but what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to erase rather than have to do this again. Again, remember we are interested in May all the way until October. Okay. All right. So which months are going to affect May? Okay, 2 months before May, we have March. Okay, so March, it's going to be the 2nd, and then April is going to be the 1st month, where the first installment is expected. Okay. Then April is going to be the first installment, is due obviously not in April, but in the month following, okay, which is May, and then the second will be in June. Then for the month of May, nothing in May, one in June, and then second installment in July. Then for June, sorry, nothing in June, one in July, second in August. Okay, and we keep on going like that. Nothing in July, one in August, one in September. Nothing in August, one in September, and then one in October, or the second installment in October. Then remember they gave us September's, all right? If we look at our budget or our tables, we don't have those. So there's nothing in September, one in October, and one in November, but we're not concerned with this because that is outside our period. Okay, so we have that breakdown. Okay, we have that breakdown. So now at this point, we will have already calculated all of the installments. Remember here, they gave us this one. They told us expected 240. Okay, so we still need to times. So we have to say 240 times 40%, which is going to give us the same 96,000, fortunately. Okay, there we go. Right. Okay. So again, there you can see same pattern. Okay. And then literally all you need to do is say, okay, for the first month, we know this is what's payable. 60% of what we can expect. I'm just going to put that in. And then for the following month, we know that use a different color this time. It's that. Okay. Once you apportion that, you obviously get your amounts for each month that we need to settle. We add those up for each month, and then we know that this is what is due in each of these months. Okay, and for the period, no, yeah, this is what's due for each of those months. Okay, let me not say for the period it's this amount, because that's actually not necessarily true, because some of it will spill over into November, as we saw. Okay, right. So there we go. All right, so it's fairly simple. It's just a thing of having a proper structured approach as to how you're doing your budget. Are there any questions or thoughts from you guys? Any questions or thoughts? Okay. I think this would have been a lot more fun in class, because then I would have asked you guys to help me calculate all these things. All right, and it would have been a whole lot more interactive. But that's fine. Okay, so we finished question 3.2. You'll find that question, is it 3.9 maybe? Yes, 3.9 is a great example of is a great second exercise, where you then need to do the calculating of breakdown of the budgets. And here they only ask you to do the debtors. All right. Yeah, I don't think they ask you to do the creditors. Okay, but practice 3.2, practice 3.1, and make sure you practice 3.9. Okay, what I want us to just close off with for today is 3.5. Okay, 3.5 is a lot less cumbersome. Okay, a whole lot more to the point. Okay, so with 3.5, let's quickly flip there. Question 3.5. There they're saying in question 3.5, under the required, calculate the effective rates for each of the three plans to offer. Okay, rank the three options from most preferable to least preferable to an investor. Rank the three options from most preferable to least preferable to a borrower. Okay, cool. Right. So let me just create some space here. So first things first, we want to calculate the interest rates. Okay, the effective interest rates. Okay, right. So when you see something interesting here, okay, and you can read it in your books, RemBank, it says 15% compounded daily. Okay, SemBank, it says 15% compounded quarterly. Okay, and then finally, TemBank is 16% compounded annually. Okay, now the effective interest rate takes into account the compounding. All right, so you get a true reflection of the actual interest rate, the effective interest rate, what you are actually really paying. Okay, that's why we call it the effective interest rate, not the nominal. Nominal is just an amount that's quoted. Okay, this 15%, this 15%, and that is the nominal rate. Okay, but we want to know what interest rate are we actually going to either invest our money or actually going to be having to pay back investors or people who have borrowed us money. Okay, so this is the formula that we use to calculate the effective annual interest rate. Okay, so it's 1 plus your quoted nominal rate divided by the number of periods, all right, which is this 365 days, or 4 quarters, all right, or 1, which if it's an annual, okay, it's the number of compounding periods, okay. So you need to break this down in your calculators. So I'd advise you first calculate what's in the big bracket, all right, first the small bracket. So here we have 15. Let me just create more space here so I can write freely. So this we can say is 0.15, okay, then divided by how many compounding periods? 365, okay. This is in brackets, so we want to handle that first, okay, then plus 1, okay, all right. Then once we've done that, so I'm going to quickly calculate here in your viewing. So 0.15 divided by 365. Okay, it's giving me some funny answers here. Okay, so let me, here you need to open up your calculator quite a bit. So let me do that here. 365. Typically, they don't ask you to do this calculation usually. All right, so what I'm getting here is 0.000411. Okay, I've done it to 6 decimal place. So obviously plus 1, you are then obviously going to get 1 over there. Okay, then we take that and we say to the power of 365. Okay, so plus 1 to the power of 365. Okay, I am then getting 1.1798. Okay, and then this we just minus 1. Okay, which would then give us 0.1618, because I see in your textbooks they did it to 2 decimal place, which would then give us 16.8, oh sorry, 18%. Okay, so that's the interest rate for the first one. Okay, let me use a different color. For the second one, we do the same thing. Let's do this. Create plenty of space. So here we then say 1 plus 0.15 again, right? But this time divided by 4. Okay, and what do we get? So 0.15 divided by 4, we get, all right, then plus 1, we get 1.0375, okay, and 00, okay, but we don't need those zeros, so I'm going to erase that. And then to the power 4, okay, what do we get? 1.0375 to the power 4. Okay, I get 1.15865. Okay, then minus 1, we then get 0.15865. Okay, which is equals to 15.87%. Okay, so that's the second interest rate. And then the last one, almost there, guys, almost done. We are then saying, wow, looks like I need just a little more space. We're then saying 1 plus 0.16, all right? But this is divided by 1 because it's annual, okay? So it's 1 whole year, okay? And then to the power of, okay, no, let's not do that yet. Okay, so this is obviously going to add up to, this is going to be 0.16 plus 1, so we'll have 1.16, all right, and then that's obviously to the power of 1, okay, which is obviously then going to give you what? Let's see. It's been a while since I've done this to the power story, so I just want to make sure, okay. My assumption was correct. This is going to give you 1.116. Then minus 1 will then obviously give you 0.16. Okay, which will then give you 16%. Okay, so now we have the interest rates. Okay, so part B, what did they ask us to do? They rank the 3 options most preferable to least preferable for an investor. Now, an investor obviously wants the highest interest rate. So if we look here, in terms of the highest interest rate, number 1 is this one. I think this is number 1. Okay, this is obviously number 2, and then this is going to be number 3. Okay, from then part 3, so that's part B. Just going to put B for the second part, and then C, if we're to rank it, all right, rank the 3 options from most preferable to least preferable for a borrower. Now, a borrower wants the lowest interest rate, so this will be number 1 for them. This will then be number 2 for them, and then this will be number 3 because that's the highest. Okay, so that's typically all that they wanted you to highlight. Obviously, you would be using the names when doing your ranking. Are there any questions or thoughts from your side? Any questions or thoughts? Anything you wish to raise with me? Okay, all right. But typically, what I would suggest is just know this formula. They don't usually ask you to do the interest rates. They usually bring it in a multiple choice or question. Multiple choice question to see, do you understand the formula? Also, do you understand what the effective interest rate is versus the nominal interest rate? And then there's also the annual percentage rate. Do you understand how to do that? If you look, you'll see that in order to calculate the annual percentage rate, you actually need to do it over Excel. So obviously in your test or exam, there's no Excel, so you can't actually do that calculation. Okay, so yep, guys, please just ensure that you obviously understand these different calculations, especially theoretically, okay, so that you can answer any multiple choice question or theory question in relation to them. All right, otherwise, if there's no questions or thoughts, that is pretty much it for today. Okay, I'm just going to ask you to please practice those things. Please practice your questions that you have in Unit 3. It's a very simple unit, okay, but please just make sure that you practice those questions, especially the schedules, okay, or age analysis for your debtors and creditors, okay. Otherwise, do enjoy the day, and I will see you guys when I see you guys. So, okay, yes. For our test, just to confirm, yes, it is Unit 1 and